Welcome back to Repton Infinity and the Repton 3 Take 2 levels. So this is the fourth level of Repton 3 Take 2, and I'll mention here, since there's not much to say about this level in particular, the levels, or the scenarios, level sets, games, you could possibly even call them, in Repton Infinity have four levels per file. That's because they used to have like 8 levels per file, but now they've gone down to 4 levels per file, probably because of all the extra stuff they had to put into the files and it couldn't all be loaded into memory. So what that means is that the scenarios, the games, are divided into 2 files. With the Repton 3 Take 2, it would be Rep3A and Rep3B. So we're still on Rep3A at the moment, and but this is the fourth level, so we'll be going on to the next one. This is a nice little place with lots of eggs and a nasty bit of fungus there, and it's nice we can run in between the eggs. And the fungus spreads onto the monster, or the cracked egg. I don't know if it can do so, but it spreads and gives us the points for it anyway. Just so that the boulder can't fall down. And obviously that means that the fungus is now running free in there. And here's our start position, which had a lot of transporters. And around here particularly, a lot of the transporters aren't very useful. You pretty much only just want to take one. And that was a weird kind of falling down of those boulders because of the new logic they programmed in for the boulders as well. They move a bit differently. You might have seen already. Obviously with the Repton shuffle and the Repton juggle there, but also with things falling down. The Repton 3 ones normally just went, if they could roll off the surface, they normally went to the next diagonal place instead of going across then down. But here they will actually go across and down. Anyhow, so we've got out of the level set A and we're into level set B now. We see the final Repton 3. We can also see a few things like scenery, lore, menus, casting element, dynamo. On each different one they have some different names like that, which is silly. You can see the same thing on the high score table. Thing is, obviously, well, one thing that somebody noticed was that Carmen Outcrop is actually an anagram. I'll leave you to figure out what it is of, but it's kind of relevant to Repton. And so this is the next one. I had trouble here, because you might have seen my score has gone right back down to 0 at the start of this. I mean, you might think, oh, that's because you start off a new level set, that's why. But you can actually keep your score through different level sets. So I could have kept the score I had from the first 4 levels onto these ones. But the problem I had, the disc version I had of Repton Infinity that I downloaded actually has this level here wrongly in its map files. It's got a few changes which make the level impossible to complete. So I was trying for a little while to actually complete the level as it stood there, and I realised it wasn't going to be possible. And so I had to switch over to the tape version of Repton Infinity to record these levels here. So you won't get the accumulation of the score through all the times. And one thing I haven't actually mentioned about the spirits movement, because obviously they can't go through each other now, as I mentioned in the first video, since though obviously if one spirit went over the other spirit, one would just squash the other one and take it off the map. Since they can't actually cross over the top of each other, then the thing is, what they'll do if they meet each other, they'll go around each other. So what you can have sometimes, if one spirit is going around another spirit, and then the other spirit disappears off round a corner or something, it can leave one spirit stranded in the middle of nowhere. Now just clearing off a little place down here, so I can kill a monster. And we'll spot another interesting thing about the Repton Infinity Take 2, Repton 3 Take 2 levels. Yep, there we go. The monster drops, or the egg drops on your head. It doesn't actually kill you. It could have done so. Obviously, the rocks do it, but they didn't actually program it into the egg's routines, which obviously makes for interesting puzzles and a little bit of head scratching from me when I first came across that, because I didn't know that was what was going to happen. And so you might have noticed with the monster, he was trying to come straight for us, and that's what they do now. They just attempt to come straight at us, or straight at Repton, and they will randomly decide to slow down and pause in the middle of their movement. Another thing which I didn't realise when I was recording these levels, but I found out later, is that the monsters will actually try to go downwards so they're level with your vertical position first before they move across to you, which is quite handy if you're trying to get them behind a boulder, since you can just hide behind one and they'll pretty much just line themselves up. As long as they're at the other side of the boulder, of course. So coming across the top here, and that's where the problem was with the map, which I had in the disc version. There was, I think, skulls or boulders or something up there, which means I couldn't get through. Anyhow, passing on to level 2 of this. And this is where the movement to the spirit actually becomes quite important to know about, and you have to think about it when you're clearing away these diamonds, so you don't get them stranding themselves. Because if you put like a little dent in, if you took like one of these diamonds away from the wall, it would give a opportunity for the spirits to get confused. So where they've gone down there, where we started off, there's a little corridor. Sometimes they can get themselves confused at that point as well. But then we've only got the one spirit left, and we see him coming around here. This is a pretty nasty little place with the fungus, and you'll see it all spread at once, I think. Oh no, it's not here which you see it do it. But as I said, the fungus all spreads right at the same time. If it's going, it kind of decides if it wants to spread into a square, and then it all does so at the same time. I don't know if I explained that quite well. Anyhow, you might have noticed this level is kind of mostly symmetrical about the horizontal, and obviously the puzzles will play out differently whether you're on the top half or on the bottom half. And looking back at this after recording it, I realised I probably didn't take the best route through, but at least I got the level finished. And you can see at the top left and bottom left, we've got quite a few crowns to collect. As I said, the status is as a glorified diamond now, because they only give you more points, and there's no difference between what they do, really. So a few more diamonds left to collect around here, but we have to make sure we get into the middle without trapping anything off. Actually find our way to the proper place, and you see the fungus really spreads very, very far in this game very quickly and covers a very, very big area. And it was a good job that was the last time, because that's where we ended up. Anyway, thanks for watching, see you next time.